All right, so if you guys have been following along on the Iron, we did switch over our bars from our factory bars to a moto bar just because I like the more straight hand position, but now we're pretty far forward and my arms are straight. And when your arms are straight, you limit your blood flow to your hands, and then you end up with hands falling asleep after a while. So I end up having to rest my hands a bit after longer rides, and it's just something that I wanted to correct. So what I'm going to be doing today is we're going to be taking the bars off. We're going to be switching over our gauge setup, and we're going with the full riser. So this is what we have. I got the Burley brand cable kit here. We have a 7-inch riser from Kraus, and our bars are from Kraus as well. So we got some high quality stuff here. This is going to bolt right up to our triple tree, and this is going to bring us up and back. So we're still going to have the moto bars. It's just going to be up and back a little bit, so I get a little bit of bend in my arms, and it should give it a more of a like a club vibe, which is pretty cool. I like the way that the fairing and everything looks. But what we're going to do with the gauge, we're going to have to figure out a mounting solution. I do have this here from Amazon, which is a gauge pod that's going to fit our factory gauge, because this is all integrated into our top clamp, and that's going to have to change up when we do our new setup. But I'm going to kind of go through it and just see what is going to work out and show you guys exactly all the things that I figure out along the way. So our top clamp bolts are 1/4 inch and 3/32 for the one behind our gauge here. Get those removed and get our gauge out of our old top clamp. So I got the one side off here. You can see this is the bolt hole, and the head of our bolt is here on the bottom, and this is what it looks like when it's out. We just have this 3/4 inch bolt, or 19 millimeter, on the bottom. It does have red Loctite on it, so we're going to Loctite our new ones as well. But this is what goes through your triple tree, and then you just want to run that bolt out the bottom. What I did is I put the bolts back in, and then I stuck a pry bar in there to hold these, just so it doesn't spin on you, because it's going to want to when you try to take that bolt out the bottom. So it's nice to be able to have something to hold on to on the top, keep that from spinning on you, and then you can take it all apart and have your old stuff removed, and we're ready to mount up our new ones. All right, so we ran into our first issue, being that these are a riser and a pullback. This is 7-inch total. I mean, I thought I was gonna be high enough up, but it is so close to the tank right now. But we do have a tank lift on this. This was on the bike when I bought it, and I've had mixed feelings about the tank lift. It kind of looks cool, but when I get to the low fuel light, it will suck air if I slosh the tank at all. So it's kind of annoying. I don't really like the fact that, you know, I'm almost running out of gas the second I have a 1 gallon left or so in the tank. So this will even that out a little bit. I'm going to drop it down, and we're just going to have to deal with it, because obviously this is telling us that's got to go. And how the snowball begins. So now we've got the pullback in the way of the tank. I got the tank lift out, but I did a wire tuck, so I've got a lot of the wires pushed up on top of the tank, or the spine of the frame, which is under the tank, so the tank won't go back down now. So I'm going to remove the tank, and then I'm going to move my wiring back underneath, and then we can lower the tank down, and hopefully we got enough clearance here, because that's really all I can do. So now we have everything out of the way. I put the wiring back underneath the spine, and I got everything zip tied down. So our tank should fit nice and low again, and should sit a little more level, which is kind of what I'm after anyways. And then what we can do is start stripping down our bars, and then put the bars up to where they need to be, and just see how long everything needs to be and what pieces we're going to need from our kit. We might need to do the whole deal, and see what we have to do with our wiring, get all that sorted out. All right, so headlight is now sitting over there. Everything has come apart on this thing. I just kind of got it mocked up right now. Tank is down to factory height, and my wiring had to go back down as well, because with the tank lift, you can hide your wiring under the spine, or above the spine under the tank, and it makes for that nice, clean, open look in this area. But obviously we have one thing fighting another, and that's kind of what had to happen. So we have the bars just in place. They're not tightened down or anything like that, just enough so I can mock up things. And I have the headlight off because the mounting points here for the headlight is where we're gonna put our gauge, because obviously we had to lose our gauge. This is our new bracket. This is a piece I got from Amazon. It was like $100 to replace the clamp bracket that holds all of this. So we're gonna have to take this lens out, and then we'll show you guys how all that goes together. But this is our old stuff that's going away, and obviously we can't have, since it's that clamped here, and well, it clamped down here, it's not gonna be up here. And honestly, when I see the gauge up top here like that, and especially if you have a fairing or whatever, and the gauge is sitting up here in the wind like that, I think it looks like crap. So what we're gonna do is the mounting point for a headlight, I'm gonna make some extensions. We're gonna make some spacers, and I'm gonna bring it up about 3 inches from here. And then when I'm sitting over here, I can see my gauge perfectly over our pullback. So that's gonna go behind our Memphis Shades fairing over there, and everything's gonna look nice and clean. And it's gonna look the way that it should always have looked, I would imagine. I mean, I don't know how many people like the original riding position, but I guess for the taller guys that ride these bikes, it's where you have to really do these modifications, like the forwards and the risers and all that kind of stuff. But I really do like this bike, and I think once it's all dialed in, it's going to look absolutely awesome. It's kind of like a mini dyna, honestly. It's got the step-up seat and all of that, and it's just, yeah, it's a cool look for this bike. I think it's a really well-designed motorcycle as far as all the design attributes and whatnot, the aesthetics of it really come together, and it's going to look sick when it's all done. So one thing I've also heard is guys get into Harleys, they start with something smaller like this, a little more inexpensive. I mean, you're talking anywhere on the low end of 6 to high end of 10 for one of these, depending on mileage and all that kind of stuff. And they love the bike, they love riding, they're really into it, and they're like, okay, I'm time to graduate, gonna get myself a street glide or a road glide or something, a big bagger, so I can be cool with all the people that aren't gonna say, oh, you're riding a Sportster, it's for girls, and all that kind of stuff. And then a few weeks go by, they're riding the big bike, it's awesome, but they're missing the sporty, because it was fun. It was just a little bike. It was just, it's almost like the Grom. Nobody makes fun of the Grom because it's kind of its own thing. It's just small and fun, not trying to be anything, but it is a lot of fun to ride. That's kind of like this too. There's nothing wrong with this motorcycle. It is an absolute blast to ride, and it's just something fun to hop onto and just go blast some corners and everything like that. It's light, it's nimble, and that's really a reason to keep it, because obviously I have this one. I love it. I'm so glad I didn't get rid of it. And we have over here the big boy, which I'm still sort of getting used to in a way, but this thing's a beast. It's a monster. It's a totally different animal. I mean, obviously, this is your Super Duty, and the one over there is like your little sports car, your little Camaro or whatever. I mean, this thing handles awesome too, but this is a big bike, and it's heavy, but well balanced. I don't want to say anything bad about it. It is awesome. I absolutely love it, but it's also a big amount of money. You know, you're 30 grand for one of these. It does have a different vibe, but you'll probably miss the vibe of the Sportster. I don't think one replaces the other. I think that you kind of got to have both. If you've had one, you like it for certain reasons, and you have the other for other reasons, and that's where I'm at with it. What do you guys think? Would you keep your Sportster if you got a bagger? Would you like to have both? Because I'm definitely excited to have them both. All right, so this is the mock-up. Right now we got the fairing on. The fairing's actually going to come back a little bit just because it is tilted forward, just because of the way I had the bars before. But we're going to loosen that up, bring it back. Now we got lots of room to do that. You can see our bracket that I got from Amazon, and then we have these right here. So I ended up getting longer bolts, new washers that go through to what mounts our headlight. And these are actually stainless steel pipe nipples. So just cut the threads off, made sure they're the same length, and that's what you end up with. So I think it looks pretty awesome. I mean, honestly, you can see kind of where our mirror is. We got tons of room there. And out of our kit, I mean, I ran the throttle cables over here now, and just for a mock-up, and I think they might actually still work with the factory cables. And our factory clutch cable is okay too. So on a 7-inch rise, you're good with throttle cables, you're good with clutch cables, as I can see so far. I think really the only thing we need to extend is our brake hose that goes down to our caliper on that side. That is too short at the moment. So I think that's what we're gonna have to change up. But yeah, I did spend the money on the Burley kit for, you know, the 7-inch rise, and I do like the other cables. So maybe we'll still use those. I'm not entirely sure. This actually looks pretty clean though. Kind of thinking as we're looking here, but so far, I think we're going to leave the throttle cables for now. Clutch cable's okay for now, and we'll use that hose. So maybe if you're doing this, you might not have to order that whole kit. You might just order that hose and you might be okay. All right, so I got to tell you guys, because I went for my first ride on the Iron with this setup, and this thing's it's a different bike. Like, it's 100%. I can't tell you how excited I am to have this setup on the bike right now. And honestly, none of this stuff is sponsored. This is all the stuff I bought. And just the way that it sits now, it's like, honestly, it's like a dirt bike, but a Harley. Like, it's so fun. Like, anybody who's missing out on Sportsters, dude, like, this thing is so fun. It's not crazy power. It's not ridiculous. You're not really going to get into trouble with it, but you can throw it around. And now the seating position is right with the forwards and the risers. It's everything I wanted this bike to be and more. I am so excited about it. And this thing just rips. I've been throwing this thing around the back roads. And yeah, this is a super fun bike. And for the money, honestly, like, it's worth it. Every penny. Back here in the shop, I just wanted to give you guys maybe a little bit more clarity. I don't know if I was 100% clear on some of the stuff. With the brake hose itself, I know I was a little bit on the fence about whether to use the Burley one, and I would definitely recommend changing this brake hose, but this is the factory brake hose, and this is as stretched as it gets pretty well. You do have a little bit of movement. It's not like guitar string tight, but it is tighter than I would maybe prefer it to be. I did do a little bit of adjustment with the clamps, just move them a little bit where it mounts up, and everything still works in a safe manner, I would say, but use your own discretion when you do that. I would recommend for the long term to put a longer brake hose on, just because of how that is. It's really kind of maxed out, and I don't want to keep it that way for long term. But for me personally, I just wanted to run it and don't have to mess with that at the moment. So use your own discretion with that. But as far as extension goes, I would just do the brake hose, and the other stuff all works. I did keep the kit just because then it does have that new throttle cable setup and new clutch cable and all of that. So I guess maybe in the future we will swap some of that stuff out, but all in all, it does work really well. When you have this, just as far as the weight goes, when the bike sits, I mean, it does want to turn the bars like that. And before, we did have some issues with getting that mirror to clear with the flip, and on both sides now we are completely good to go. Lots of room there. No worry about chipping up the tank and all of that, which the previous owner already did to this one. So it's a very nice setup. Absolutely love it, and I think you guys will too. This really makes this bike perfect for my height. I am about 6 feet tall, maybe just a little bit under at this point, but forward controls, the Kraus bars, the moto bars, it just makes for a super, super comfortable setup. I can crush miles on this thing. I mean, as far as Sportster miles go, I'm not about to drive this to Canada or something like that, but for back roads, this thing's awesome, and this setup makes this bike so much more fun.